Hello, friends. I seriously need to get back into doing research and trying more things. Now that I'm living alone for the past few weeks, I've had a minute to try some new things again. So, really short video. So, I got some sulfur for prescription compounding. So, I know it's like human grade, um, from a neighbor. And I wanted to try it because a lot of people have talked about sulfur soap and how that has helped them with the parasites. Or there was that Netflix movie that came out about a woman who came up with a compound for hair for Black women that was helping their hair. They had a lot of health problems with their hair, and her compound had sulfur in it. So I did some research on her compound, and she would put scents to cover the sulfur smell. And I thought maybe that if I tried some sulfur in some lotion type things and put it on my skin, that maybe the parasites would come out, or it would help that way, or if I could put it in a shampoo or something and use it in my hair. However, I wanted to be careful, but I hadn't really thought about it until I tried it the other day. So what I did was I put some of the sulfur in lotion and I put it on my hands and a little bit up my arms. Now it smelled like I was striking a match, which is that sulfur smell, which I don't mind. I don't mind that smell. I think it smells good. I don't like the sulfur smell when you're driving and it smells like rotten eggs, but I don't mind the match sulfur smell. So I was like, okay, this isn't bad. However, I didn't think about it until I started having an itchy throat. I had cut up some pineapple and I used my hands to pick up pieces of pineapple and put them in my mouth. And then all of a sudden I started having an itchy throat and I went, oh, I'm having an allergic reaction to the pineapple. But I was not having an allergic reaction to pineapple. I was having an allergic reaction to the sulfur, which in turn made me remember that my mother was allergic to sulfite drugs. In the old days, I used to use sulfur based drugs for like an antibiotic type thing. And so they went away from that as medicine progressed, because a lot of people did have allergies to sulfur medications. Back in the day, a lot of people would, when you'd ask about allergies, they would say sulfur drugs. So I immediately washed off the lotion and didn't put any more on, but I had done it about 3 times before that. But with that reaction, it really scared me to not use sulfur anything. So I had tried buying sulfur soap, and I think I found a 3% sulfur soap, which is hardly anything, but other people have said that sulfur soap has helped them, but I didn't see any difference in that and the coal tar soap and other things I was using. And you can watch my other video about that. So I will not be using the sulfur anymore. I'll probably use it in the garden, but I won't be using it on my skin or anywhere I can inhale it or take it because of the itchy throat that I got when I used it. So I just wanted to share that I used it. So the reason I make these videos is so that when people research the parasite and or looking for cures, they'll know what I tried and whether it worked or did not work for me. Now, just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you, but I want to share what I tried so that other people will know what has been tried and didn't necessarily work for this specific parasite that I've been diagnosed with. So I just wanted to share that information about the sulfur because so many people have mentioned on other videos about sulfur drugs. So what I have been doing a lot lately, now I've shared in the past how I color my hair with peroxide, and it usually keeps the sores on the back of the neck and the rashes and the 21 day, 28 day cycle of parasites down from the back of my neck. But in the last year, I've been feeling a lot more, especially on this right side at the base of the neck, a hairline, and I haven't been coloring my hair as often, but also the peroxide that I've been using was one that was on clearance, and it's not as the same one I normally use, and it's not as good. The gray comes back quicker. It doesn't color the gray. It almost just like, I don't know. The other stuff I use with the dye and the peroxide was very quick and it was fast and it would last for a while. This new one that I'm trying that was on sale that my daughter picked up for me is not as good. And so I've been having sores showing up and feeling it at the base of my neck when I'm trying to sleep over the last couple of months since I've been using the new peroxide on my hair. With that, I will take some Diatomaceous Earth and just kind of rub it at the base of my hairline, but it kind of makes my hair funky, and so I don't like putting the powder in my hair. It kind of makes it feel dirty and kind of stand on end, and I don't like that. And it might just be that it's killing the worms and it is making it stand on end because there's dead worms in my hair. I don't know. But so what I've been doing is I alternate between, so I just use rosemary oil on everything. I have large bottles of this and I just refill this one. It looks really beat up and old, but it's just because I keep refilling it over and over and over again because I just leave it on my counter and use it in a lot of ways. So if I'm having a hard time breathing, I rub it on my chest. I take a blend every day, Thieves blend that has rosemary in it regularly for like I have an infected tooth area that I've been struggling with. It's a root canal that's kind of been infected for months. And so I take that every day, but it also helps keep the cold and flu away. And with COVID, I put a little bit on my mask. And so I use that product that helps boost my immune system. It's kind of like On Guard or Defense, but I use the Young Living Thieves blend. And I talk about that on my blog, thesecretisgratitude.com, or on this channel a lot of times, and I use it all the time. So that's something that I use. But just the rosemary oil, what I've been doing to keep the parasites down out of my hair is, and I share this on another video, but I put some rosemary oil in the shampoo that I'm using, whatever shampoo I'm using. And also I got this psoriasis control shampoo that has a little bit of acid in it that helps a little bit. But I also, I use a pump of this, and I have a lot of hair and it's very thick. So I use a pump of this and then some, a pump of whatever other shampoo I'm using at the time. I've got some antifungal, Nizoral shampoo. Sometimes I'll use a little bit of that. It just depends. I kind of go back and forth. And but I'll put a few drops of the rosemary oil in the shampoo and shake it. And then I'll use a little bit of this and eat a little bit of that. And sometimes the Nizoral, I'll use all three, and I'll just make sure that I get the back very well and underneath. So I don't just wash the top. I get up and I always do underneath to get it all on the scalp to try and keep the parasites down on the scalp. And then I do the same thing with the conditioner. So this is really one of my favorites. It's from the dollar store. It's really thick, and it's better than the cheaper brands. You can hear it, like, it's so thick it doesn't really move. It's a very thick conditioner, which I really like. So, and it smells really good. So whenever they have this at the dollar store, I just grab a bunch of them and stock up, and then I pour 10, 15 drops of the rosemary oil in it. I'll squirt a little bit out of the new bottle, and then I'll put the rosemary oil in and shake it up, and then squirt the bottle back in, whatever I've taken out back in, and so that I mix the rosemary oil in with both the shampoo and the conditioner, and that seems to keep them down more on my hairline. And my hair is thinning. I have a ton of hair, very thick hair. Like it looks like it's already dirty, but I washed it last night and straightened it this morning. But it just, with the parasites, it just kind of gets that way. So the peroxide, if you bleach your hair, that helps. So I know not everybody wants to peroxide their hair, but if you don't want to peroxide your hair, Diatomaceous Earth before you go to bed in your hair. I have it on my bedding, and I have a video where I show how I do that. I have a little sprinkle and I put it on. A lot of people don't like that because they say you're inhaling it, but I don't get any sleep if I don't put something down because I can feel them crawling all over. And so I just put it in my bedding and kind of pat it in before I go to bed so that it's not puffing up every time I roll over. And then using this. So if I am really active, if I feel that they're really active, then I'll just put Diatomaceous Earth on every night before I go to bed. But for the most part, when I wash with the rosemary oil and keep the peroxide every couple of weeks, I'll peroxide my roots. That has kept them down. So I wanted to share that, but I did want you to know that I have tried the sulfur and I won't be trying that again. So that is something that I did try. Now, I have a list that people have suggested of things that I should try, and I just have not, with kids home, had the time to do that. So I'm hoping to get back into that a little bit more over the next little while and be able to try some new things. It would be so nice to figure out a cure for this. But I also have been having another symptom I forgot about. I wasn't going to necessarily share it because I don't know if it's caused by the parasites or something else. But I'm having patches of neuropathy, a patch of neuropathy in my kind of side of my knee. And every time I go to kneel down, it feels like fire. And when I was reading about that, it could be thyroid problems, which with this parasite, we know it causes calcification, like strongyloides of the thyroid. And I do have thyroid health issues. So it can be caused by that. And there was also some other other things that it could be caused from. Diabetes is one of them. I am okay with sugar, but if at certain times when I'm under stress or whatever, I just have to take some more chromium to kind of balance the blood sugar. So I don't know that it's diabetes. So I don't know. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like I'm not, my toes aren't numb or anything like that. So it's not, I don't think it's from diabetes. I feel like it's more from the thyroid. So, if I kneel or I bump it, like if I touch the side of it, like if I tap it like this, the side of my knee, I can't feel it where I'm touching. Like it's numb. I can do this, and on my knee, I don't feel it. But if I bump my knee or if I kneel down or stretch it too much, like I'm kneeling but I'm squatting, it feels like somebody's taking a hot poker and my knee is on fire. Like it's very, very painful. And the spot's about this big. So I have a thought that maybe the neuropathy is from the parasites causing problems with the thyroid. So I can't say for sure it's a parasite symptom, but I'm going to lump it in with the thyroid with the parasite because I don't have other health problems that would cause that. I don't have any other reason for that. If it was something with spinal or something, you would think it would be all the way down the leg. But whereas it's just in the knee area, I feel like it might just be the thyroid. So I wanted to also include that. And I need to add that on my website. The secret is, let's see, Horsehair in Humans on the symptom pages, possibility that it is, the neuropathy is from the parasite. So I just wanted to lump that in with as a new symptom in case other people are having a problem with that. So if you are having a problem with that and you do have these parasites, please comment in the comments so that I can know whether it actually is a symptom of this parasite and include it as a symptom. For now, I'm just going to include it as a possible symptom, but because it's new and my parasite load is so much worse, I mean, I'm feeling a lot more. The other thing I've been feeling over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, which I have not felt before, I felt it like in my legs before, was like a little tingling in my legs, like under the surface, or my arms, and they're swollen and they feel like the lymphatic is like clogged, and I can feel the parasites moving in them, especially in the mornings. But 2 weeks ago it started where I feel it all over in my body. Like I could feel even like just under my skin and my arms and everything. I can feel it feels like the parasites, like I have a ton more and they're active and they're moving, and it almost makes you feel panicky a little bit. And I can see why people, if they don't know that they have the parasite, would think it was a panic attack of sorts. It's not like I can't breathe or I can't handle it. It's just an unknown. It's like, I don't know what's wrong. I can feel something's weird. I just don't know what it is. So I can see why people would have a panic attack or freak out if they didn't know what it was. But because I know that I have the parasite and I know it's in the lymphatic and I can feel it moving and I can see it in the eyes for so many years, I know what that feeling is, and I can feel it just all over underneath the surface. And so it was really bad for a couple of days. And it was right around the same time as the neuropathy showed up. So that's why I do think the neuropathy could be related to the parasite. And so I'm just going to say, lump it in and say yes, because I'm having that tingling in the lymphatic and now the neuropathy. So what I'm wondering is if maybe I also did feel that right at the beginning. I talk about how I could feel the parasites waking me at night like a hot poker coming out behind my knee and the fleshy areas of my arm. And I did actually wake up to that a couple weeks back. And now I'm wondering if it laid eggs in that area of my knee. And now there's so many parasites in that area that it's causing the neuropathy. So that's my thinking, is that, and I don't know, that wouldn't have to do necessarily with the thyroid, but the thyroid can be a cause. So I'm just correlating the two situations and saying, I do think it could be a symptom of the parasite. So there's that little tingling all over the body, swelling. My legs are swollen a lot, mostly in the mornings, water retention, because the parasites are so heavy in the lymphatic. And because I haven't taken anything to try and keep them down in the last 7-8 months plus COVID, I was doing really well at the beginning of last year, losing the weight. I lost 40 pounds. I was eating super, super well, just one meal a day, very healthy, and alternate fasting. And then I had kids come home in May, and I've had kids from May until now. And I actually did pretty well when my one daughter was home, and then when the second daughter came home, she eats differently, and I stopped walking and I started eating ice cream. And since she left, I haven't been having any ice cream, but I have been eating some sugar and things. But so anyway, I gained 20 pounds of that 40 back, and have not been feeling very active and healthy with COVID. So hopefully, once again, I'll share that I can start researching, trying new things. There's some herbs from China that I want to look up and research that are supposed to be used for horsehair worms in humans. So they're a little bit more ahead of us in some areas in China. So I'm hoping I can figure that out and yay, get healthy. So please comment if you're having any of those symptoms so that other people, I'll know if it's related to the rashes or the parasite. And stay safe, and hopefully I'll have more to report soon. Okay, have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.